The prevailing paradigm is that apple trees won't grow and be productive in Louisiana, and folks, I'm here to tell you that's just simply not true. It's like anything else, variety, variety, variety. Choosing the right variety to match the number of chill hours your region gets is crucial. In the orchard behind me, I'm experimenting with some heritage apple varieties that 150 years ago were commonly grown all throughout the southern United States, including the Deep South. And today I'm going to show you the difference between pruning and training fruit tree branches, and we're going to use these apple trees as examples. This is an heirloom apple called Summer Banana, and like a lot of the Deep South apples, it's a summer apple. It's a very tart cooking apple. If you don't like tart things, this would not be a good one for fresh eating, but I do, so we're growing it. This is grafted onto a rootstock called MM111, or Malling and Merton 111, and it looks like we're getting some growth out of the rootstock. So we'll want to take that off so it doesn't zap any energy from the scion part of the tree or the variety that we're interested in. And we'll just cut all this off. And we're good to go. That's all we really need to do. This is an apple called Shell, or Alabama Shell. It originates out of South Alabama, close to Montgomery, which is not part of the world we typically associate with apple country, but at one time it was. So there are Deep South varieties out there. And not much pruning to be done now, but what I notice is I have several branches that are growing back into the canopy. And right now in July is a good time to take those out. I don't have very many of them, and it won't hurt the tree at all just to do a few cuts. And so that one and this one is growing back into the canopy, so I want to take it out. We just want to keep the canopy as clear as possible to allow maximum light penetration and promote good air circulation. And here's one growing across the canopy. And then another one down here growing back into the canopy. We'll take this one. And that's all we really need to do at this point. Again, we'll do the heavy pruning this winter, late winter, very early spring, while the tree is still dormant. And I can already see one of the cuts I'm going to be making. I have two verticals here, two leaders that are competing with one another, and I'm going to have to make a decision about which one I want to be the central leader. But we'll do that this winter. So remember, pruning is actually removing tree material as opposed to training branches, which we're going to do now. Training branches is simply bending these branches so that what's called the crotch angle, which is the angle the lateral branch is coming into the main trunk of the tree at. We want that crotch angle to be as close to horizontal as we can get it. Now, it's not always going to be perfectly horizontal, which would be a 90-degree angle, but we're going to get it close. Generally, anything 60 degrees and above is doing pretty well. Now, during these times, with everything so uncertain and we want to avoid crowds in stores, I'm going to show you how to do this with some things you might have lying around your own garden shed. One of the things you can use is a plastic water bottle with a paper clip through the top that would hang on the tree just like an ornament on a Christmas tree. You could put water into the plastic bottle, and that would provide some weight for bending the branch down to the right angle. And it would hang on the branch just like this. And it would work. Now, some other material you might use if you don't have a lot of these water bottles on hand is some baling twine and then an old hose that you might have lying around that may be split or you just don't use anymore. We're going to practice recycle, reuse, and this is a great way to use old hoses. So we'll remove the bottle, and baling twine can come from a bale of hay or a bale of pine straw or wheat straw, whatever you're using in your garden. And all you need to do is thread the piece of hose that I cut into about a 2-inch piece just with my knife and thread the baling twine through there. And then we'll simply put this on the branch and pull the branch down and secure it to a weight like a brick or a rock, a cinder block, whatever you happen to have lying around. A log, piece of firewood, whatever you have. Okay, now we have the piece of hose situated right over the branch so the baling twine won't damage the tender tissue if there's any wind that may come up. And the branch is now sitting at a wider angle relative to the main trunk of the tree, and that's the way this branch will grow for the remainder of the season. And during the winter we will be able to come along and remove this, and the branch will continue to grow exactly at this angle.